Captain? You may be talking about the prequel. I thought J.J. Abrams did a wonderful job. I think he took the logic that Gene Roddenberry put forth, that the only differences in human beings and beings that occupy this universe is our limitation in thinking. And so he used his imagination and had a marvelous love affair that everybody thought, what? And you have to remember, this is 5 years before we go on our 5-year mission that led up to that. These are young people, and a young being who came from another planet, whose mother is half human. I thought it was just fine. Who else?
There's the guy right behind.
My understanding is that after all this one time to get a new series, at one point you thought that he knew. Is that correct?
It's asking whether, after all the excitement of joining Star Trek, there was some point where you were considering leaving the show.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that.
After the first season. The first season was winding down. It was just a couple of weeks more that we were going to, and then we were going on hiatus for 2 months while you saw reruns. I went to Gene and told him I was going to be leaving the show, that I appreciated everything that he had done for me, but I really am a theater being. I had a one-woman show. I'm a singer, dancer, actor, and I missed the theater. I glided over the other half of the fact, was that this wonderful role that he had created for me kept going through some changes by the writers, and then they would have all white pages, and then you bring in those little changes in the pink pages, and then the yellow pages, and then the orchid pages. And then you run out of colors and you come back to a white with, second version. And each time, this incredible role of Uhura kept getting cut and somebody else, because they were important parts of this story. Somebody else had pieces of it. And so, honest to God, it didn't bother me because this was just television. I mean, what did television mean to anybody? It didn't change the world. Now, theater, on the other hand. And so, also, there was another thing I don't even want to talk about, the pay. They denied me a contract for the first season. They did not want, the powers that be were furious with Gene Roddenberry for casting me because they understood what the command crew meant. You're part of the command crew. And so he didn't let me know until 2 days before we were supposed to start shooting. And he didn't tell me then. He had my agent call me. And just tell Nichelle to trust me. This is very important, and I know she's going to react. Tell her to trust me. They've taken the contract away and let her work as a day player. And here's what I want her to do. I want her to come and act as a day player, still as Lieutenant Uhura, while they attempt to replace her. However, they can't replace her because she's already out there in space, you see. Quite yet. So they were going to take that first season and then replace her with somebody acceptable. And Gene said to trust him. And I said, but I was cool. And I decided to trust him, so I stayed. And a funny thing happened. It's called overtime. And Bill Shatner did not like to do his close-ups after every scene was shot. You know, you get your close-up, get this, what you're going to go here and turn back, and even little pieces of, you know, backs of heads and all like that. He saved all of his till the end of the shoot that day. And so that makeup could redo him and freshen him and so forth, which was pretty smart. But that meant that if anybody who was there speaking to him or part of that or seen in the picture had to be there. Well, the extras don't mind because they're getting paid. And if it's at the end of the show, and they're staying to do that at Jose, that's not only overtime, that's golden time. I, who was not an extra and didn't want to be, but I was an actor who was not going to be, I had got a contract when you take the practice of it, and now I said I'd be that. I didn't know what it meant. Suddenly, my first paycheck, I knew it was wrong. My agent called me and said, nice work. And I said, that's got to be wrong. If my elbow showed, I had to stay. I had many lines that said, Captain, I can't reach Starfleet Command. I had lines that said things like, yes, sir. And they did their close-ups on me accordingly because they thought change. Well, I was on golden time. I had made more money on that than the original contract.